I've never once looked at a white person with locks and been like,
yo, you are doing me a disservice.
My main issue are some of the terrible arguments for the people that aren't empathetic.
Why do black people have a problem when white folks wear dreadlocks, but white people don't care when black folks wear weave? You guys are just having a victim mentality. The world has changed. You guys aren't negatively impacted by these things. You shouldn't feel a way at all. Ha 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 ha.
What's good, YouTube? TV Locs here, bringing you guys another video. Yes, Ronjamaltzahn has been banned from performing at Fridays for Future in Germany because of her dreadlocks. If you're interested in this video, stay tuned. Per usual, you guys, if you have not done so already, please hit that like and that subscribe button right now. If you have hit that like and subscribe button already, definitely want to make sure you hit that notification bell to stay notified on all the posts the moment I post. Let's get into this video. Now, you guys, this topic is very interesting to me. It's going to be very controversial, and I'm just letting you know for the sake of the comment section.
I want all the smoke.
Not really, I really don't want smoke, but definitely share your thoughts. Now, for a long time in the dreadlock community, one of the more controversial topics that we've had to discuss is whether or not it's okay for white people or non-African American people or African indigenous people to rock dreadlocks, right? That has been a long fought battle within this community. My stance for anyone who is new to this channel, I do not care. I could absolutely care less who rocks locks, whether they're purple, green, etc. That being said, I do think it's very important for the purple people, the green people, the white people, anyone who is adorning locks to understand and empathize with the plight and the perspective of black people across the globe with locks. Why? Because within the dreadlock community, I don't think it's far-stretched to say that the primary benefactor of all of the negative stereotypes, all of the negative policy that limits things like employment, some places enrollment, and even sports competition. I think it's pretty safe to say that most people that are rocking locks are black. I just think it's safe. Just like I could probably safely say most people that are rocking cornrows are probably black. Several other hairstyles are being primarily upheld by black, African diasporic cultures. We can't establish that in the baseline. I'm sure I'll hear about it in the comments, but that's my basic premise. If you're somebody from outside that group, you should understand that there are going to be some sensitivities. You should take time to figure out why those sensitivities exist. You should become a part of the change that is dismantling some of those institutions from the negative impact that they have on those communities. That's my main request of anyone rocking locks, because as a community, as a lock family, we should care about what each person in the family is dealing with, specifically the people that are primarily getting it the worst. Empathy and understanding is where we should start. I don't think a solve to this issue is going to be borderline discriminatory policy against white people solely to maintain social consciousness. And that's essentially what you have here. Fridays for Future has decided to completely cancel Ronja because of her locks. Now, let me go ahead and read a story for you guys. Bear with me, it was translated from German, so it might not be exact, but I am gonna go ahead and read it for you. Fridays for Future disinvites musician from demo because of dreadlocks. The white singer Ronjamaltzahn was supposed to perform at a demo of Fridays for Future, but because she wears dreadlocks, she was disinvited again by the Climate Protection Organization. Statement made by Fridays for Future, they said, the musician Ronjamaltzahn may not perform on Friday as initially planned at the demonstration for Fridays for Future. Dreadlocks, they said, had become a symbol of resistance and civil rights movement of black people in the United States. So when a white person wears dreadlocks, it is cultural appropriation because we as white people don't have to deal with the history of collective trauma, oppression because of our privilege. Initially, Maltzahn herself had made the cancellation public on her social media channels. The musician reacted sadly. We were looking forward to being able to set a sign for peace against discrimination with our music. It's a pity that we are excluded from it because of our external characteristics. Now, for those of you guys who have no idea what Fridays for Future is, Fridays for Future is a youth-led and organized global climate strike movement that started in August 2018 when 15-year-old Greta Thunberg began a social strike for climate. In the 3 weeks leading up to the Swedish election, she sat outside Swedish Parliament every school day demanding urgent action on the climate crisis. She was tired of society's unwillingness to see the climate crisis for what it is, a crisis. They created the hashtag Fridays for Future and encouraged other young people all over the world to join them. This marked the beginning of the global school strike for climate. Their call to action sparked an international awakening, with students and activists uniting around the globe to protest outside the local parliaments of city halls. Along with other groups across the world, Fridays for Future is part of the hopeful new wave of change, inspiring millions of people to take action in the climate crisis. So essentially, this is a very socially conscious crowd, a very aware group. You can hear in some of the verbiage earlier about the reasons why they wouldn't allow Ronja to rock her locks. They seem to be very aware of the optics, and they seem very sensitive to the plight of African Americans. I think at face value, what Fridays for Future is, I think it's a beautiful thing. I think it's a much needed thing. I think it's a positive thing. While I do respect Friday for Future Hanover's, desire to be considerate to me, I actually don't think it serves me at all. The main reason why I'm not a fan of this is because I honestly don't believe it is solution oriented. I think when we talk about change in the world, specifically in the dreadlock community, we need more allyship, we need more connection, we need more love, we need the gap to be bridged so that people can understand the plight of those underserved communities. I've never once looked at a white person with locks and been like,
Yo, you are doing me a disservice.
my main issue are some of the terrible arguments for the people that aren't empathetic.
Why do black people have a problem when white folks wear dreadlocks, but white people don't care when black folks wear weave? You guys are just having a victim mentality. The world has changed. You guys aren't negatively impacted by these things. You shouldn't feel away at all. Ha 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 ha.
That's how they sound in my head. It's just nonsense, right? For one, when we're talking about hair additives like weaves, hair extensions, etc., the cultures that most of us exist in are innately Eurocentric. So what that means is, in order for you to thrive in these environments, in order for you to get a job, in order for you to maintain proper esteem, in order for you oftentimes to be successful, oftentimes will encourage you to pretty much assimilate into those values.
Sound like a 14-year-old white chick.
I don't think so, sister girl.
It's sister girl, dude.
Maybe on planet Ebonics, but where I come from, we like to pronounce our E's and our R's. Thank you very much.
And you can see that across the board, whether it be light skin privilege, certain hair textures being higher value than other hair textures. I mean, the list goes on. Weave as a response is just a terrible argument that lacks empathy, it's uninformed, and I could go on and on about that. That's essentially my line that I draw. I don't have a problem with anybody having locks so long as there's some sort of empathy and understanding. What you can't do is get the locks and then become an antagonist of the people that you should be trying to be empathetic to. All that being said, I don't believe that Ronja should have been prevented from performing here, especially when you're talking about the type of festival that this is. I think it could be a tremendous showing. If you were concerned about the optics, you absolutely could have made sure that you found some black performers. You could have made it very abundantly clear. Of course, with a polarizing topic like this one, you're gonna always deal with people that may or may not get it. But again, I don't think black people all across the globe are calling for white people to be withheld from opportunities because they have locks. I think what we are calling for is our opportunities to not be withheld because of locks. This whole idea of preserving the optics doesn't actually help the bottom line. People in the region seem to agree with me as well.
Afrikanischen Frau, ich finde das nicht so schlimm, wenn eine deutsche Frau oder eine weiße Frau Braids machen. Ich habe auch so viele E-Mails bekommen von weißen Frauen und die sagt zu mir, oh, als black woman,
Als schwarze Frau solltest du dich schämen. Warum machst du Afro-Frisuren für weiße Menschen? Das ist deine Kultur und du teilst deine Kultur mit diesen Menschen. Das ist nicht in Ordnung.
Another thing that I found interesting about this is that Ronja herself seems like she might be an ally. Of all the things that I saw in her music and some of the news about her, granted it's all in German and I sort of had to translate some of it, nothing gave me prejudice or anti-black or really any sort of vibe like that. So the fact that they would withhold her performance from something like this really makes no sense. Let her be an ally on a stage where you're trying to promote allyship and social consciousness. I don't know, man. It just seems weird. Ultimately, you guys, I do not want to overtalk this topic. If you have your opinions, as I know many of you will, please leave a comment in the comment section below. I want to know how you feel. Where do you fall with this conversation? Should white people be able to wear locks or should they not? Let me know in the comment section below, you guys. Hopefully you found this video interesting. It's been TP Locs, signing out.
Yo, TP Locs fam, what is going on? You already know it's your boy Backpack Beatz. If you like the music on my homie TP's channel, definitely come over to my channel. I got more of these. I'm making beats every week. I'm also DJing every week for the No More Free Beat Show. So definitely make sure you stay tuned in. Got a lot of stuff popping. I appreciate everybody who's been coming from TP's channel as well. I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers, so I really appreciate y'all for coming through, showing love. It's nothing but a community over here for real. We got the dope vibes. So definitely stay tuned to what we doing on TP's channel. Make sure you stay tuned to what I'm doing on my channel also. And it's gonna be fire, man. Dope beats, dope music, dope vibes. Appreciate y'all.